In this video, we're going to take the time to start working with JSP. Specifically, we're going to look at the include directive and see a couple different ways that we can actually include files and build a better, more robust web system. Along the way, we're also going to take a look at comments, and this will be common as we continue to go through learning about JSP. What I'll do is I'll present a main topic, and then we'll throw a few things in along the way that are minor and wouldn't be worthy of their own topic, but will also be important for us as we program. So you'll want to make sure to watch the videos all the way through so that you can make sure not to miss anything important. Here we're going to start with the JSP include directive starter.or file. Now this is a starter that gets us going and allows us to do some coding live that you can also work on your own. So go ahead and import that, and you may choose to rename it to JSP include directive, or you may leave it as include directive starter. It should not matter in this case. You'll have three files, a footer.jsp, a header.jsp, and a navbar.jsp. So what we're going to see already is that we're going to set up a web template that allows us to have a header in place, a footer in place, a navigation bar, and then we're going to be able to build pages that will leverage all of those without having to retype that HTML code over and over and over again. So let's take a quick look at them. Our footer.jsp is simply a copyright with a date and a link. And so it's nothing major, but you can see already that these files do not have to be fully formed HTML files. They can just be partial HTML, which is really advantageous because now we can leverage that and we won't have to write this line of code on every single page that we want to include our footer. And of course, you can extrapolate for your own sites what you might want to put in your footer, much more robust than this, most likely. The header then, all it is a simple tag that just says the site is awesome. You can see right here there's already a comment in place. Now this comment is going to be a comment that allows us to not render on the page. It has a % sign after the less than sign with 2 dashes, and it closes with 2 dashes, a % sign, and a greater than. The nice thing about this comment, as I stated, is that this one will not show up on the page when it's rendered based on the fact that this is a JSP comment. We have our navbar, which is just 3 anchor tags to 3 different pages, index.jsp, listcities.jsp, and listcountries.jsp. Now we won't have list cities or list countries, so if we click on that link, we'll see a 404 error as expected, and we'll build the home page here starting right now. So the first thing we're going to do is right-click on Web Content and select New JSP File, and this is going to give us the chance to build a new JSP file. Let's rename it index.jsp. Now that will be one of our starter files, of course, in our WebXML, so we should be good to go using that. Let's go ahead and just tag through here on the next just to see what's available. Now on my installation, I did set up Java server faces. I also have some different options available for different JSPs, including JSP 2.0, XHTML, regular old HTML, and JSF with those same options. Now we're going to use the JSP file HTML for this case, and this is the default. So if I hadn't selected next, it would have just selected this anyway. If you want to click on them to see, you can see that it changes the different headers that are available to start off your page. So that's really nice. It's nicely formatted and templated for you. Go ahead and select Finish. And here we can see our index page. So let's go ahead and change our title. Welcome to the World Manager. That will give us a World Manager page that has a nice little welcome message on the top. Now we can look right away at the top here and see there's a little bit of difference between this and a regular HTML. We already have a page directive, which we'll learn about next time, which includes a language, a content type, and an encoding. So that's really nice to know that that's there for us, and we'll see that next time in more detail as we start working with page directives. Here what I'm going to do, just to save time, is I'm going to go ahead and copy some code that I've already written ahead of time. And what you can do is type this as we're talking as well. You can pause the video and type what's there. But this just gives us a quick chance. You don't have to watch me type all this, and we can talk about it in detail as you're typing or as you paused and looked back. So this comment right here on the first line is a regular comment. This is a plain old HTML comment with less than, a bang operator, 2 dashes, and a comment. Now the thing about this is it will show up in the source as we render it. And what you can see here is another directive. Now we know it's a directive because it has a % followed by the @ symbol. So the same thing with the page directive up here, there was an @ symbol. We know that when we see that @ symbol, it's a directive. Well, this is an include directive, and we're just going to include by file name, which is header.jsp. We have our include navbar.jsp on the left-hand side of our table, and we have some content area. And of course, we have another comment. I want to point out, we haven't gotten to standard actions yet, and we'll talk about Java actions when we start working with tag libraries in the future. But for right now, we have an include directive that just allows us to do the include in another manner. So I wanted to go ahead and cover that since we're doing includes here. I thought this made sense to just go ahead and show it. So if you don't want to use the include directive for whatever reason, you can use the JSP include, which will do the same thing as the include directive. The only difference is it's now page instead of file. and we still point to the flat page. Now, since all these pages are in the same directory, we don't have to worry about navigation. If they were in different directories, we might need to use some specific navigation. And again, this comment is here simply to show us that it won't render on the page. So let's go ahead and run our index at this point. And we'll go ahead and select Finish. And this will pull up our index when it starts in our web browser. And you can see that our site has rendered. This site is awesome. We have our home link, we have our cities link, and our countries link, which of course we know is a 404 because we haven't actually made those pages yet. But we have our content area here, and we have our footer area down here. If I view my source, I should be able to see my regular old HTML comments, but you can see that there's no comment for the header, but there is a space where that comment was in my code. The same thing happens down here when we have our standard action include. We include the footer. We have the comment that was there and is no longer showing on our page. So you can see the difference there is you can actually hide some comments from rendering on the page just by using the JSP comment and not having to worry about the user seeing some of that information, but still being able to comment your code in a way that the next user would be able to maintain it very easily.